I always like having lots of mirrors around because, well, put my makeup on. I don't know where I was going with that, but I hope it made sense. I won't be buying anything new until I use what's in my collection. What's up, beauties, and welcome to today's video. If you are new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Amanda. This is my channel. I also go by Manders. We talk about a lot of makeup. We do some unboxings, skincare, reviews as well. I always drop something. So if you're interested in any of those things, make sure you do stick around, ring the notification bell, and give this video a big thumbs up. We are gonna do just kind of a quick get ready with me this morning, featuring a palette that I've had in my collection that I haven't really given a lot of love to. So I really wanted to dive into this one. It's Colourpop. It's the Bitti Palette. I really like this one. So we're gonna use this for eyeshadow and some old loves for makeup. So we're gonna get right into it. So for our primer today, I'm gonna go in with my CoverGirl. This is the True Blend Base Business. This is the Skin Smoothing Primer. I've used this a few times. I haven't had it in my collection that long. I have no real complaints about it. Just take a little bit like that. Just sort of smooth it into your face. I hope everyone's doing great. I know I've talked about it in some live streams and some of my recent videos about the struggle I'm having putting my makeup on and just doing reviews in general or doing get ready with me because, let's face it, nobody's leaving their house. But I have a lot of stuff and I want to use my stuff. Even though I'm not going to work every day, I'm trying to get myself into that routine. So we're getting there. Before I go in with my foundation, I am going to use this Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil by Wander Beauty. This came in one of my boxy charms. I really like this stuff. Just take a few drops. I'm gonna warm it between my hands. I'm just gonna tap it in. Feels very nice on the skin. It's very refreshing. A little bit goes a long way. I know Wander Beauty is a little bit more on the pricey side, but man, when you get stuff like this in BoxyCharm, it just makes me want BoxyCharm again. All right. We're gonna go in with foundation now. We're gonna go in with my Maybelline. This is the Matte Plus Poreless Fit Me. I won't be buying any new foundations until I use what's in my, I won't be buying anything new until I use what's in my collection. This is one of my favorite foundations, so I just like to take a little bit on the back of my hand. I like to use my Shop Masse. This is my Mochi blender. One of them, there's many. And we're just gonna go in and start dabbing that foundation right into the skin. The one thing about this foundation is it is buildable. And if you use it like with a sponge, you do have to use a little bit more, but I personally am okay with that. I just like the way that it looks when I use a sponge. But then in about a month, I'll probably switch back to a brush and be like, oh, I love using a brush for this foundation. It really depends on my mood and how I want to apply my foundation. I really like this sponge too because it has like that, it's cut at the top and it has this flat edge, which makes it just so much easier to use. One thing I do like about this palette in particular is it does have a full-size mirror with the palette. Just a teeny tiny little bit. Oh, I dropped something.
I love when there's a mirror. Just love it.
Makes me so much happier. Because in an instance like this, where I don't necessarily have like a face mirror right in front of me, I always like having lots of mirrors around because, well, put my makeup on. Okay. I'm gonna take some setting powder. This is my Becca Hydro Mist Loose Setting Powder. I received this in a boxy charm, and it is part of my 20 in 20 project pan, which I will link somewhere. I actually just did an update last week. I really like this powder. I'm really excited to use it. However, it is more on the expensive side. This also came to me in a BoxyCharm or a BoxyLux. It is a little bit more pricey and it doesn't go a long way like some other powders. Like I've used powders that I've been using forever, or what feels like forever. Whereas this one, it's getting down there into the nitty gritty. I don't use it every day, but when I do use it, oh, do I ever love the way that my makeup looks throughout the day. Alrighty, we are going to contour just a teeny tiny little bit. Oh, I dropped something. And that is because I'm going to use this product, which is my Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. And all I'm gonna do is just kind of warm my face up just a little using this shade right here. This is one of those products that I spent a lot of money on and that I don't use. And I refuse to get rid of it until I've really put it to the test. And every time I use it, I am pleasantly surprised. The shade's a little bit more on the bronzier side anyways, as opposed to a cool tone. So it's a little bit more warm than the other contour shade, which is here. It's a little bit more gray tone. So this is the one that I tend to reach for the most when I use this palette. And then I'm going to also my Tarte bronzer in the shade Park Avenue Princess. And I'm gonna take that using an AOA Studio brush, and I'm just going to give myself a little bit more of a glow. This doesn't have a mirror, but this does. All right, so we're just gonna take that bronzer and we're just gonna fire it on and hope for the best. This is not a preferred bronzer of mine. This is one of the least favorites in my collection, but I have it, so I want to use it before I can move on with any of my, before I can get any new products. Like I said, I'm not buying any makeup. There's no makeup that's going to come into my collection until I start going. I need to empty some makeup products.
I'm so excited.
All right. We are bronzed. All right, next we are going to do a little bit of blush. This is also by Tarte. This is my blush in the shade Partay. And I'm just gonna put that on my cheeks. This is one of those products that was in my 2019 project pan that I do hope to continue for 2012, so I am keeping it in there. I haven't done any updates on those products yet though, so I should totally be doing that. Actually, now that I said that, I know what I'm going to do later. Then I'm going to go in with my highlighting powder. This is by Pretty Vulgar. This is in the shade Shimmering Swan. Also one of those things that I got in a BoxyCharm that I wasn't expecting to love. This is also part of the 2019 project pan. I am going to hit pan on this bad boy. It's going to happen. Never ever hit pan on a highlighter before, and I'm just so excited for that to happen. Using my Lexi brush. Ooh, pretty, pretty. I really, really, really like this highlighting powder. It was one of those things that I wasn't so sure about at first, but the more I use it, the more I love it. Does anybody else have products like that? I have lots of products like that. All right, so we are highlighted. I'm going to pop on some brows real quick. This is by Rodial, I don't know how you say it. It's the Glamo Brow Pencil. Came to me in one of my Look Fantastic boxes. Has a spoolie on one end. All right, we're gonna go into eyeshadow, but first I am going to put something on my eyes. Use my MAC paint pot. This is in the shade Painterly. This one right here. I'm just gonna tap that onto my eyelids. I like to apply this with my fingers. just cancels out any discoloration, any weird veins that I have on my eyelids. Just gives a nice base for your eyeshadow, in my opinion. Now, this is not the most affordable thing. However, it does go a long way. I really actually find it almost completely identical to my e.l.f. Eye Putty Primer. And that is just bizarre to me because that only costs like $10 or like less than $10. This costs like 30 or 20 or something. I don't remember. I don't know. The e.l.f. one's very affordable though. And I like it. And before I go in with the eyeshadow, I am going to go back into this and I'm going to take on a clean brush, just a powder brush, just a small powder brush. I'm going to go in with this matte white powder or base powder and I'm just going to set my eyes. I personally like to set my eyes after I use my MAC paint pot. It works better for me. I have the oiliest eyelids, like so bad. All right. Now for my favorite part, which is eyeshadow. I'm just cleaning off a brush here. Let's just give me a second. All right.
Have some coffee.
It's so weird when I get the motivation to sit down and like do my makeup on a day like today where I just run with it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go now. All right. First shade I'm going to go into is this one right here. This is in the shade Bubblicious. And I'm just going to take that on my Morphe 443 brush. And I'm just going to buff that right into the crease. Oh my goodness. I did not expect that. Look at that color. That is way more pigmented than I anticipated. Pigmented, I should say. I don't reach for this palette very often, like I said, but it's just, first of all, I don't like pressed glitters, and so I definitely don't use those, but the two shimmer shades that come with it are nice, and I do enjoy the matte shades. So Colourpop makes amazing products, especially for the price point. They're very affordable. I always say that if you're getting into makeup and you're kind of new to it, I always just point people in the direction of Colourpop. And the reason I do that is because if you're just learning, you want to learn on something that's easy to use and something that's affordable. You don't want to break the bank necessarily. I made that mistake when I first started my makeup journey. I remember buying high-end products that didn't work for me. Like Urban Decay, love their setting sprays. Can't handle their eyeshadow formula for some reason. And I think it was probably because I was so new to makeup and I had been practicing with different formulas. And when you discover formulas like this and then you compare it to something high-end like that that doesn't perform the same, it's very, very hard to love that brand. I don't know where I was going with that, but I hope it made sense. Still going in with Bubblicious, just taking the same brush, just keep buffing it in. I really like this color, like a lot. Alrighty, next we are going to go in with the shade Jelly Baby. I'm going to use the same brush. And then for the last shade, I am going to go in with Poppin'. And I'm just going to take that and I'm going to keep it low on the outer corner. I don't want to go too high. I just want to give a little bit more dimension. Now to top it all off, I'm not going to use one of the shimmer, drop something. To top it all off, I'm not going to use the shimmer shades from that palette. I'm actually going to use a single eyeshadow. This is my velour eyeshadow from AOA Studios. I got this from Shop Miss A. It is in the shade Lucky Star, I think, yeah. I'm just going to take that on my finger and I'm going to pop it all over the lid. This is one of my favorite eyeshadows. Like, it's a cream to powder formula. It is gorgeous. Like, look at that. It just gives the right amount of shine to your eyelids. It lasts really well through the day, and get ready for it. It's only $1. My favorite part. That's my favorite part of Shop Miss A. Everything's $1. Very, very good. All right, I'm gonna pop some liner on with this look today. And that is because I have an abundance of these liners. This is by Galactic. I received this in an Ipsy, and then I had 2 more received in an Ipsy. I do like how long the tip is. It's very easy to use. I'm just gonna take that and we're not gonna necessarily do a big wing, but we're just gonna line our eyes. All right, so for mascara today, we're gonna go with my Power Up mascara. This is by Butter London. So I actually really like this eyeshadow palette. I don't know why I don't reach for it more. I love the matte shades. Now the shimmers, like I said, they're not my favorite, but situations like that, those shimmers work really well for other types of looks, just not this one. So that was my New York color. This is the Get It All lip color in the shade Mocha Amazing. I love this lipstick. I love the shade. It's my fave. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Let me know, do you like any of these products? Do you hate any of these products? Do you have any of these products, or do you want any of these products? How are you doing? And let me know in the comments down below. I absolutely love hanging out with you guys, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.